What's going on, guys? This is BYSSTED and welcome to my DRAGONLINK BYSSTED deck profile. This deck is really nasty, can play a lot of hand traps as you can clearly see. I'm on triple Gamma, triple Valor, and 5 BYSSTED monsters. So yeah, you're not really losing too many games going second, let's just say that. And also the deck has a bunch of extenders, it has a lot of one-card starters. Again, with the emergency teleport into my Punk Engine, the quick launch, Rocket Tracer, Safert, even BYSSTED Lubellion is basically almost like a one-card combo, depending on if there's like a card in like the graveyard or something that you can banish. But yeah, so before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram. If this video can get to 1,000 likes, I will be making a live stream on this deck. And now let's get right into it. Alright, so obviously, as I said, I'm playing the triple Gamma, which means I have to play the driver, unfortunately. And there's kind of like a driver for every splashable engine, so even the pun cards. I do have to play the Deer Node. And then, of course, the good cards would be the Xiamen and Foxy Toon. Not always the best card to hard draw when you're playing a very small engine, but at least sometimes you can, like, summon the Xiamen, search the Deer Note, and then tribute the summon the Deer Note and still go for Chaos Ruler and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily bad. Like, it's still definitely playable. Anyways, the one Lavineer, because you can easily recycle it back with, let's say, Safert, or you can end phase search it with the Magnamut so that you always kill your opponent. This card's just like a really good boss monster. And then triple BYSSTED Lubellion, it's basically like a semi-starter because it searches your BYSSTED monsters. And the summoning condition is also really fantastic, so I love this card. Absol Dragon at 1 is way more than enough. Double Druid Worm and triple Magnamut, so this one is like the Skarm. You really have to play 3 because it gets your engine started. You can afford to break on like 5 hand traps and still win if you can resolve this, because you're going to be unbreaking on your own turn. And the Druid Worm is also a board breaker, so this card's incredible. And fun fact, those 2 monsters are level 6 Dark Dragon monsters. So you can make either Romulus with them, and then trigger the effect of Druid Worm, so that you can Chain Block Romulus Chainlink 1, Druid Worm Chainlink 2, and not lose out to Ash or Gamma. And then the Beatrice can also be summoned on top of these 2 monsters, because they're level 6. And Beatrice can send the Absol Router, so it's kind of like a way to dodge the step of having to go into Romulus to search the Ravine, etc. So that's really neat. And then Fairy Tail Snow, the 2 baby dragons. So White Dragon Wyvern Burster and Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. Only 2 Safert. I don't think you necessarily need to play 3. You already have enough normal summons in the form of like Rocket Tracer and Xiamen, even though Rocket Tracer is rarely a normal summon, since you can summon it off of the Boot Sector launch. But like the Xiamen sometimes has to be used as your normal summon if you're hard right. And then the 1 Rocket Recharger, double Rocket Synchron, and like I said, triple Valor. So that's it for the monsters. 30 monsters in this deck. Every single spell card basically in this deck is either like Attack a Tomborg to draw, because you're not really down, or like a really broken card to draw. So if you see Chaos Space, Quick Launch, or Emergency Teleport in your opening hand, chances are you just win the game, because those cards are absolutely ridiculous. However, Call by the Grave is actually really good as well, but you don't have to play it. It's really up to you, but I mean, why not? It's a good card. Boot Sector Launch is not great to draw because you search it with Striker Dragon in your combo anyways. So it's not like a Garnet, of course, but it's like Attack a Tomborg. And then Ravine, not necessarily bad to draw because it allows you to skip the part where you make Romulus, so you can go straight into Hieratic Seal. So it's not bad at all. And then Rebranded, it's also kind of similar to Boot Sector Launch. Usually you access it with BYSSTED Lubellion, but since I'm also playing Branded Beast, if I hard draw 1, I just search the other one with the Lubellion, so it's really not the end of the world. So in case you didn't know, Rebranded, whenever my opponent normals or special summons a monster, I can revive back one of my BYSSTED monsters in my grave. And also, if a light and or dark monster is banished, I can put back one of them in the bottom of my deck and then draw 1 card. So double effect that are really relevant. This card is incredible. And the Branded Beast, it's very similar to like, I forgot the name, Guard Dragon something, a Cataclysm or something, I forgot. But yeah, once per turn during the main phase, if you control a BYSSTED monster, you can tribute 1 dragon monster, then target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. So it's an out to Mystic Mine if Mystic Mine is a thing. And then during the end phase, it can also reset back your Rebranded. So if you mill this, you can get it back with a Branded Beast, and that's actually really incredible. So yeah, 44 cards total. You might be able to cut this down to 40. I don't necessarily know how. Maybe by trimming down on some ratios. Maybe playing Rocket Synchron to 1, or like Safer to 1. BYSSTED Lubellion to 2. I'm really not too sure, but anyways, 44 cards at the moment. Now, I'm not gonna lie, my extra deck I think probably needs help, but this is what I have right now. So 1 Baron, 1 Hard Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, 1 Chaos Ruler, 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, 1 Shooting Riser Dragon, and then for the Xyz monster, Beatrice, because again, the 2 BYSSTED monsters are really nasty. Borrowed Sword so I can kill people, and it's also a Dark Dragon monster. I can still make it under BYSSTED and the lock of, what's-his-face, Rocket Tracer. So it's very easy to summon Borrelsword Dragon in this deck. And then, of course, Appaloosa, because I can make it with Masquerena. Unicorn is also a card that I can summon off of Masquerena. And these two cards, summoning them on my opponent's turn is really broken because I get to trigger Druid Worm to interrupt my opponent again. Just like a mega interruption because you're going for Appaloosa for 4 while DD-crowing your opponent and simultaneously sending a monster that you control to the grave. It's like 6 interruptions with like 2 cards, basically. Ridiculously absurd. Anyways, Needle Fiber, of course, it's a really good card because it summons the Shooting Riser so that you can summon one of those Synchro monsters. And fun fact, you can actually summon Chaos Ruler twice in this game because you can make it once on your own turn and then again once on your opponent's turn, since you can easily put back Chaos Ruler from the Banished into the extra deck again, either with Chaos Space's Graveyard Effect or rebranded. So yeah, if you want to get even more resources, like get a Veiler or maybe mill a Snow or even get a BYSSTED monster, that is definitely something that you can do. Otherwise, we're just going to be using the Shooting Riser to quick sync into, well, not really Hot Red, but probably Baron or Borrelword Savage Dragon. Definitely a really respectable move, so yeah, 3 really powerful Omni Negates in the extra deck, and then 1 resource card, 1 basically just a card that you summon off of Needle Fiber, but you're not really trying to synchro summon Shooting Riser, unless you're really that desperate to send the Fairy Tail Snow, but usually Fairy Tail Snow is not really a card that I'm ever desperately trying to see. If I mail it, then I mail it, and if I don't, I don't. It's not the end of the world. Anyways, for the other Link monsters, Romulus, of course, searching that ravine. IP Masquerena, just, I already explained how broken this card was. Heretic Seal, if you can technically squeeze in 2 copies of this card, it would be nice, but you don't necessarily have to. And then BYSSTED and Striker Dragon. So again, 15 with 44. And now for the idea section. You could definitely play Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. It's just that I didn't really know what to cut in this deck because it's already very tight. I don't know why Phantasme is here, but you can search it with the BYSSTED monsters, so maybe. Noctovision, definitely a decent card, but it doesn't necessarily do too much when you're playing the Punk Engine. So if this deck becomes like a pure DRAGONLINK BYSSTED deck, then maybe, but at the moment it's not really worth it. And then the Chamber Dragon Maid with Tiding, it's cool, but again, it kind of gets a little bricky when you're playing like other engines. So I think because of that, Chamber Dragon Maid is like a little less good. And then the Brave Token Engine is also really cool, but it gets a little worse again when you're playing other cards. Ash, which is a hand trap that is overall really nice, but in this deck it doesn't have a lot of synergy because it's not a light or dark, so you cannot excavate it with Chaos Ruler. That's kind of unfortunate. Omni Dragon Brotor, which you can summon off of Heretic Seal. Zombie Stein, which you can summon with Chaos Ruler and Levianeer. And then the Chaos Ruler would not get banished, it would go back to the grave if it was like revived back with its own effect. Borderland Dragon, really cool card, but a little hard to summon, to be honest. You have to play like a very specific build. You're not trying to play a second Appaloosa. Quad Boral is really nice. It's the way that you can usually make like a big board of like Hot Red, as well as Borrelword Savage Dragon. And then second Heretic Seal, Forbidden Droplet, Tiding, and I'm already playing Branded Beast, so it shouldn't be here. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Let me know your thoughts about this deck in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.